news for Blake Lively because Jed Wallace is dismissed. Woo! Okay, and I think that this is a huge loss for Blake Lively and her legal team. And not just because Jed Wallace and street relations are out. I think that there is a little bit of foreshadowing of where the court and the judge's thought process is that really tells me that I think she's pretty fucked on the rest of her claims. Sorry, Mom, I shouldn't have swore like that. It's not just that the motion to dismiss for lack of personal jurisdiction was granted to Jed Wallace in street relations, but it's the reason why the judge granted it that I think she's screwed. It's right around here where my ears started to perk up because this is where the judge is like explaining what Blake Lively's claims for a retaliation scheme were. Pay attention to the emphasized words here because he says, yeah, you're claiming that the whole point was to destroy your reputation. And destroying your reputation, distracting the public with false narratives, and discrediting Miss Lively. Those are her claims. However, at bottom, these allegations related to media influence, social manipulation, negative press, and public opinion all raise the specter of reputational injuries, and therefore reinforce the conclusion that the claim sounds in defamation. The judge is basically saying, okay, Blake, your retaliation scheme that you have detailed is considered defamation under law, not something else. So the reason why he put this in here is because apparently, and I'm learning this, I just had to read up about it, but apparently defamation is not able to be put in that New York long arm statute to be able to pull Jed Wallace and keep him in New York to be tried in New York. He needs to be tried in his own personal, so she would have to go and take him down to Texas and sue him for defamation in Texas. She can't do that in the New York court. So that's why they included that in there to explain, okay, this is why he doesn't meet personal jurisdiction in my court. But that's alarming. That's alarming for Blake Lively and her legal team, especially because if the judge thinks that that's just defamation, in my own opinion, and this is speculation, I think that the court is probably already looking at Blake Lively's claims into two different categories. One being like her, on the set of It Ends With Us, her, sexual harassment claims and retaliation claims, those claims there. And then in another category, the digital smear campaign. He is viewing as defamation type harm. And that's huge. That's a huge signal because that to me means that the court is saying that everything about social media manipulation, everything about PR warfare, all of that falls under defamation claims. Not FIHA, not retaliation, defamation. PR media side of Blake Lively's legal argument is crumbling. And if the judge is already treating her so-called digital smear campaign as nothing more than defamation rather than retaliation, I think that her claims are going to have a real hard time holding up in court. Because all she's really got left is workplace harassment and retaliation claims. That's it. And even those, man, this is exciting. What an interesting read. Now, I will say, I just ran out of Sephora. I've been in Sephora, and I literally was telling all the people in line about what was going on, and they were looking at me like, some were like, what's happening? And other people were like, and I have one eyebrow that has makeup on it. It's glued up real good. And you can see I got brown eyeshadow, and I was like scrubbing lipstick off, trying to get out of there so I could make y'all a little video. I got some goods.